Hey, what's going on, everyone? Instigator92 here. Today I want to talk a little bit about Gears of War E-Day, and some of my first impressions from some of the gameplay that's come out from people that have had early access to the beta. And I gotta say, I am a little bit surprised by some of it. I was genuinely worried that the game would look and feel a lot more like Call of Duty with the introduction of sliding and a more traditional upright sprint instead of the roadie run. While I am still not necessarily a huge fan of those additions, a couple of the things that I do like from what I've seen so far with the Gears E-Day beta is that it seems like there's going to be a slower pace of play in comparison to Gears of War 5. For anyone that's not familiar, Gears 5 had an insanely fast play style when the game launched. They slowed it down a little bit, but it was still faster than the other games. And the wall bouncing was just insane in comparison to previous titles. In E-Day, it looks like they've minimized that so far. I haven't seen anything that looks like the floatiness that Gears 5 offered. So while there are some changes that they've made, as I said, that I'm not too crazy about right now, there are other ones here that kind of counteract that a little bit. So I am genuinely a little bit excited to kind of see how this game plays, how it feels, with my own two hands and not just watching someone else's gameplay, because watching a video and playing sometimes are a little bit different, but you genuinely get the gist of it. On top of that, I really do love the fact that it sounds like they're going away from battle passes and microtransactions, outside of some of their special collaborations that they're going to do, like that Metallica one and certain legendary skins, it seems like. These are all going to be very positive. And it makes me wonder if they're going to do traditional map pack style releases like they used to do in the past, which I would be all for. I'd rather just buy the new maps and not be nickel and dimed for skins and cosmetics, or characters in the case of Gears of War. So far, they're talking the talk. Now we'll have to see if they actually walk the walk, and if this isn't just all some kind of facade to put out there and then catch everyone else off guard later so that their sales aren't hurt. I mean, we see what's happened with Halo Campaign Evolved. They went and had an easy home run for the 25th anniversary, remaking Halo Combat Evolved. They couldn't do that right at all. Completely flopped, blundered their opportunity to win back the trust of fans. And that's ultimately what these studios need. The coalition with Gears 4 and 5 definitely suffered a little bit. I would definitely say a lot more with 5. Gears 5 lost its player base very quick because the gameplay is very polarizing. While there were some people that liked the faster style of game that it offered and the Gnasher gameplay being the sole focus for most people on there, the bulk of the Gears community left that game. And what E-Day is doing so far, I'm hoping that brings more people back in, and people that went away come back and stick around rather than just after a month or even a week or two just deciding to leave because this isn't a game for them anymore. I really do hope that Gears E-Day is being catered towards a more casual audience versus the hyper fast gameplay Gears 5 offered. Again, we'll have to see what happens when we get our hands on it with the beta and then what they do at launch. The new Horde mode sounds interesting, although I do hope they have a more classic version where it is just the 50 waves of Horde and not just this new version where you're given missions and tasks. I wouldn't mind having both side by side, being able to just pick whichever one I want to play. But the 12-person Horde mode does seem like it could be fun and have more replayability than what was offered with Gears 5 and 4. And ultimately I want to see what the class system looks like. The class system in Gears 4 was okay. I was not a very big fan of what was offered in 5, because I like playing the sniper role, but in 5 it just did not feel good, especially in comparison to how it felt in Gears 4. But time will tell. The fact that they're going to have big bosses that's going to require the 12 players or the 3 squads to work together seems like it could be a lot of fun. And I'm wondering if there's a way for us to start a private match and have basically 12 friends playing together. Or is this something where we go into matchmaking as a squad of 4, and then there's other friends that are kind of left out, or everyone's just doing their own thing? If we can get 12 people playing the same game, that would be awesome for Gears of War. Now, something that did not escape my notice, they said they would be releasing new characters over the different seasons. So I'm wondering if that just pertains to ranked seasons, and maybe like every 90 days they'll be adding in some new content, kind of like on a Battle Pass schedule, but without the Battle Pass. There are some characters that should be there on launch day, especially like your core group, like your characters up to Gears 3. I think you have to have all the Carmines, Marcus, Dom, Baird, Cole, Dizzy. They all need to be there on day one with Marcus and Dom. Characters like that cannot wait for 2 or 3 seasons from launch. Those are fan favorites. They need to be there. Having, on the Locust side, characters like Scourge, Rom. You could throw Karn in there as another general. Maybe Uzil Srock. Give people options for the Locust as well. Characters that they're familiar with outside of just drones. Now, I don't know exactly what they'll have as for Locust playable characters or COG, but I do think we need to have some classics at launch, and some big names, not just small ones. One of the hopes I have with this game is that when I go to play it, the shotgun is not the only way to play. I hope that rifles are strong enough that they deter people from just running around with a shotgun, wall bouncing like in Gears 5, because that pushed a lot of people away. Not just casual Gears players, but that pushes even people away who might be interested in Gears. Those are the players we need to have back to keep a healthy multiplayer population, whether that's PvP or the horde side of things. But they cannot get crazy with the gameplay. Like, it needs to be like Gears 3, Gears 2. Have more ways to play that are viable than just wall bouncing and a Nasher shotgun. Something I'm a little curious about is why they're choosing to only have 4 modes at launch. I definitely think they should be having more, and Classic, Execution, Warzone, Guardian, like those modes should be there. I hope they get added later, and especially for Guardian, I hope they end up adding a 5v5 versus mode. Because I think Guardian will play weird if it gets added in with 4v4, but 5v5 just felt like a perfect number. Guardian was always my way to play Gears, and I would love to see that return. I mean, I think I'd even be fine with Capture the Leader. Pretty much the same concept, but Guardian in general I think is the more classic. So to kind of round this video out, I will be participating in the Early Access Beta this week. I will be streaming on Thursday and Friday night. I'm kind of liking what I see so far, so let's see if I actually like it when I actually get my hands on it. I don't know if my heart can handle the ache if Gears of War falls like Halo just did with Campaign Evolved. Hey, I'm here to give it a chance and see what happens. And with all that said, let me know down below what you guys think and how you feel about some of the gameplay that's come out. Are you excited to get your hands on the game if you have access for this week for the beta or next week? I'll definitely be keeping an eye on the comments. And I do appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video here. So if you haven't already, or if you're new around here, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more content like this, or catch any of my live streams throughout the week. I stream Monday, Thursday, Friday nights. It's always generally a fun time. Right now I'm playing a mix of Halo, Gears of War, Star Wars The Old Republic, and from time to time, other games make their way into the rotation. Again, I appreciate you all stopping by, hanging out, watching this video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.